Hey, what's going on there, Dice Rolls? Paul here, and I'll be your DM for a while. Today, I want to talk to you about the 7 unique magic items found in Dragonlance. Once again, I am taking these from 2nd edition Dragonlance Adventures. And I'd be interested to know whether or not these show up in the new Dragonlance that's coming out this month. But before we get into all that, if you're brand new here to the channel, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you being a part. If you are new to the community, thank you for being here. Be sure to click that subscribe button down there and you'll get videos like this in your inbox on a regular basis. So let's go ahead and jump into these 7 unique items. They are unique to Dragonlance. Can't really find them anywhere else. So what are they? Number 1, Istar's Truth. Istar's Truth is basically a truth serum. Person who administers this truth serum can ask 2d4 questions. So if you go ahead and give them the truth serum, you roll 2d4, you can ask that many questions. The person taking the serum is at a -5 saving throw, but if they make it, they can fake it. So if they take it and suddenly they don't feel compelled to tell the truth, then they could go ahead and make up basically whatever they want. But if normally this is usable by a cleric of Istar 5th level or higher, and the formula for this is actually lost, right? But of course, you can always be found. You can find it in a book, things like that. So Istar's Truth is one of these unique magic items. Number 2, Staff of Striking and Curing. And basically, this is a staff that can both strike and do damage and also can cure wounds. And so it recharges at the rate of 5 charges a day. It's treated as a +3 weapon, does 4 to 9 damage, or you can put an extra charge on it. It will double the damage, but it will take longer than you have to wait an hour before you use it for any curing. And if you do use it for curing, well, that drains 2 charges, and you have basically 6 charges in a 24-hour period you can use. The third is called the Diviner of Life. And it's basically like this little crystal staff, but it's only about this big though, maybe a baton, and it's kind of clear in the middle, and it's got gold and silver endings there, little kind of knobs things on the ends. And basically what it does, it can detect how many hit points somebody has. So basically it would go around, they would go around and look at the troops, and they kind of, wave it over them, and it would go up basically 1 inch. And if you measured it like a little measuring tool, per inch, it would tell you basically whether that individual had 10 hit points. So it would tell you 10 hit points per inch. So if it goes 2 inches and a little bit, well, then maybe you got close to 25 hit points. But you have to know a keyword to be able to use it. But I think that's kind of cool because if you really want to use it, I think it's a bit of a game breaker, because you really don't want, it's something for the DM that the DM has to be able to work with and fit it into storytelling, because you really don't want players going around like, how much does this hit points does this monster have? And of course, then we as the DM have to be able to say, well, it looks pretty weak. It's something we would normally do, but we don't. I am hesitant to hand it out and just say, well, you can check how many hit points it has. I don't know. You tell me. Would you use this? Would you be able to put, justify this to your players? Do you want to tell your players, if they're using it, how many hit points the monster has that they're fighting or something like that? Just let me know down in the comments. The 4th item that is unique to Dragonlance, and specifically Kryn, is the Scroll of the Stellar Path. And what this does, it enhances a wizard's power for 48 hours. So it must be on a scroll. The scroll part is part of the components. And basically you have to write, if it's in a spell book, you write it out. And what you're able to do is you're able to shift the moon, the lunar cycle. Now, it doesn't actually shift the moon, but I think this is what they're doing with these new lunar classes, the lunar mages. And more than likely, I would say that I don't know if this particular item will be in, but I kind of see where they're getting some of the things they're able to do. But basically, there's 3 orders of the high sorcery. There's the white robes, which is the moon of Solinari. There's the black robe, which is the Nuitari, and the neutral wizards, which are the Lunatari. And basically, you can go ahead and do this scroll, read this scroll, but after you read the scroll, it crumbles in your hands. You can't have it anymore. It can be safe in your spell book, but you have to write it out on a scroll because it's a magic component. And it gives you this magical condition where it doesn't necessarily move, it doesn't shift the moon, right? Because there are 3 moons in Kryn. But what it can do is it can shift like a magical effect where it can, between waxing, waning, and low stationary, high stationary, I think it is. But basically you can kind of shift it through a magical pattern. And in the book here, it actually has a thing where you can, during the actual game, you're actually watching the lunar cycle. So if you had wanted to be able to use this, you can use it where you can put little tokens on there. It's high sanction, high sanction, low sanction. So this little map right here, you can see, you would put it on there and it would tell you exactly where the moon is at that particular time. So when you use this magic item, Scroll of Stellar Path, it basically, when certain moons come into alignment, depending on, whether you're white robe, black robe, or neutral, and, it phases with each other, or it's above or below, it gives you, the wizard, if you say you're the white robe wizard and you shift the lunar, the lunar scales a little bit, you shift those, well, it can do things. It can give you better saving throws. It can give the other person worse saving throws. It can add or take away spells, and it can actually up or lower your level of casting. So you can cast Fireball at another level, or make somebody else's less, I believe. So that's kind of a cool thing. And like I said, I don't know how much of this is going to go into the new stuff. But Scroll of Stellar Path, if you're going to use it, sounds a lot of tinkering. But if you like crunchy stuff like that, I don't mind it. I would have to understand it and study it better to use it. But I think it's kind of a cool component, and it helps you keep the moons in line, right? Like, where are the moons happening? So if that's your jam and you love that, that's something fun to do. Number 5 is the Brooch of Imog. And the Brooch of Imog is basically this gold leaflet, this gold leaf circlet of mistletoe you can wear. And you use a command word, and basically you can cast a globe of invulnerability around you for 10 rounds. I like it. I would use that for sure. Number 6. Glasses of the Arcanist. Basically, it says that you can only use it for elves and kenders, but I would, of course, expand that rule. You can basically read all writings. You can interpret languages correctly. You can use, basically it's for low-level spellcasters. If you can read a spell in a spell book that's at a higher level and you're lower level, it will actually allow you to cast the higher level spell of that. And if you're a wizard, well, then of course you want to be able to do that. If you have these special glasses on that reads, all language, and there's spells for that already, right? That you can read language or something like that. And be able to do that. But if you have the glasses on, well, then you can obviously save yourself a spell and then be able to cast spells at a higher level if you can read those, right? All right, and number 7 is the Singing Statue. And the Singing Statue is basically a statue with a hole at the top, and like a cup almost. It's about that big. And you basically pour into it. I guess you could determine what you would pour into it to make the statue sing. It could be, something special. You may have to maybe use a healing potion, something like that. That's something expensive to make this thing work. But basically it does, if you pour in there, it can do Chime of Opening. And I would probably limit this to one of the 3, but it has 3 abilities. One is the Chime of Opening. It keeps undead away from you 20 feet. And it heals 1d6 points of damage anyone that's in 10 feet of the statue. So I would put like some conditions on that. Only do 1 of 3, or maybe roll 1d4 minus 3. It could be a mystery as to doing that. And then, of course, whatever you pour into it, I would make it somewhat expensive to be able to use this. But yeah, these are the 7 magic items that are unique to Dragonlance. I love your comments. What do you think makes it? Do you think any of these make it into into the book that's coming out this month, leave me a comment down below. Would love to hear from you. Be sure to click that thumbs up button. Let's know you like the video and you want more of them. If you want more Dragonlance stuff, well, you can check out a video right over here and of my 5 key lore facts about Dragonlance you might be interested in. But let me know down in the comments if you want more Dragonlance. I'll be happy to do some more of that for you. But that is it for today. And until next time, you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you later.